Dear viewer, good evening and welcome to Current Issue. With me tonight, an attorney who served the community for so long, and now he's running for the Attorney General. We have Matt, and I'm sorry to not pronouncing your last name,
Deperno.
Deperno. Matt, welcome to MEA.
Thank you for having me here.
So, let me talk about your background. Where you went to school, what community you were involved during your young time, and what are you doing now?
Yeah, thank you. I'm an attorney. I've been practicing in the state of Michigan for 25 years. I was born in Macomb County. Grew up in Troy, Michigan.
Wow.
My family are immigrants from Italy and Syria, from Damascus. And they came to Michigan and worked in the auto industry as I grew up for many years. And had been a part of the Macomb County and Dearborn community for as long as I can remember.
Yes.
I went to law school at the University of Detroit Mercy, and then also got a...
So you're a local guy?
Yeah.
The Tri-County area?
As they say, I'm Michigan all the way, right?
Yes, yes.
And I got a second law degree from New York University. Came back to Michigan and have been practicing constitutional law for the last 25 years. Is that where you
practice now?
Yeah.
So, okay.
So I get involved in cases that involve government and involve my clients who believe that their constitutional rights have been violated by either state agencies or federal agencies, and those are the fights we take on. So, you know, I've been involved recently in cases involving mask mandates, stopping vaccine mandates, and election integrity cases. So I am the only candidate in this Attorney General race who actually has experience fighting these issues, these very important issues right now that are happening in the state of Michigan. You know, sort of boots on the ground type issues. I have experience doing that, fighting for families whose loved ones have been really victimized by government control over the last 2 years. The nursing homes are a big issue.
Yes.
I've represented families who tried to get treatment for their family members who are in local hospitals here, try to get them ivermectin, and have not been able, you know, they can't do that because of government restrictions right now and mandates imposed by Governor Whitmer. So I've been helping multiple families across the state try to, you know, help their family members.
Yes. Honestly, the Attorney General's office is the people office. That the Attorney General should represent the interests of the citizen of Michigan. And what you're doing through your practice, you're practicing that, you know, defending the right of the people, defending the issue that important to the people. So you'll be honestly the right person to be there, because what you're doing now is the same. We should have the Attorney General doing this.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
But more than that, our Attorney General's office has been transformed over the years. It no longer is the law firm that represents the people. It's turned into the law firm that represents special interest or is particularly represents the governor and protects the governor or the party from scandal. And I want to change that. I want to transform the Attorney General's office back into the law firm for the people to represent the people's interests and no longer represent special interest or lobbyists or protect a particular party from scandal. It shouldn't be that way.
You know, it's too bad we are in a time that the America are divided, and we see the people serving the interests of their party, the interests of themselves, by far more than the interests of the people. Even in the level of the federal, we see the Attorney General, serving the party he belonged to, and the government, that administration that he belonged to. And that shouldn't be. Should have, again, him and on a state local serving the interests of people.
Well, absolutely, and we saw recently at the federal level, Attorney General Merrick Garland came out and stated that if you are a parent and you attend a school board meeting, you could be a domestic terrorist. I don't like that. That is a violation of people's First Amendment right.
Absolutely.
It violates their right to free speech. It violates their right to assemble. It violates their First Amendment right to protest and petition the government for grievances. And I want to end that. We need to unite these communities all across the state. We need to unite the communities in southeast Michigan, in Dearborn and the outlying suburbs. And an attorney general who has that perspective, like I would, is the perfect fit for this area and the perfect fit for this state, because we want to return this office, the attorney general's office, back to the people and represent the people's interest.
Today, a lot of people, they don't know and they don't understand what the Attorney General do, honestly, because as you said, they shift to one party. What do you in the office? What the issue, the 2 or 3 important issues that you're going to tackle?
Well, first, we're going to end these mandates that are imposed upon people that affect...
Thanks God, the Supreme Court took this decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday, the Supreme Court came down and said that the mandates imposed by OSHA are unconstitutional. And we knew this. We've known this. We know that these are political issues that are trying to be imposed on people across the country. Day one, when I take office, when I give my oath of office, day one, we will end mask mandates. I will end vaccine mandates across the state. We're no longer going to allow the government to impose these restrictions on people and their businesses and tell people you can't go to work or you can't provide a livelihood or food for your children.
Yes.
For the last year and a half, I've been across the state in various forms, talking to groups, talking at meetings and rallies, and telling people that when Governor Whitmer says you can no longer go to work, only essential people can go to work, we've stood up and said that if you're putting food on your table, you are essential, you need to be able to work, and these restrictions that shut down businesses are totally unconstitutional, and we will end that. We will restore this state back to a constitutional republic. I believe that our rights are given to us by God and protected by the Constitution. These are not rights given to us by government. And that is a misconception right now by the current administration. We need to focus on our constitutional rights, and we need to focus on the rule of law. And I will protect people across the state by enforcing the rule of law in every way and ending corruption across the state.
If you are a Republican, and if we have a Republican governor and have an issue, would you stand with the people against that?
I'll always stand with the people, and this is something I've preached across the state for a year and a half now. It doesn't matter which party is in control of the governor's office. Truly, the Attorney General's office should be more independent and nonpartisan. I truly believe that the focus of the Attorney General office is on the Constitution and the rule of law, not to protect a particular party from scandal. And I'll tell you a story. I've been approached by 3 people within the Republican Party over the last 8 weeks who have said, Matt, you are not the type of Attorney General who will protect the party. And I've said, of course not. And that I find that offensive. I am an Attorney General who will enforce the rule of law and
represent everybody in the state of Michigan.
Yes, I'm not an agent of a particular party and will not protect the party from scandal solely because I'm a member of the Republican Party.
Excellent, role to play as an Attorney General. We'll come to Michigan, and Michigan have many ethnic minorities. It's multiple or so many. We have the African American, we have the Middle Eastern community, the Arab, the Latino, the Indian. How you, as an Attorney General, work with those ethnic minority, which each one have their own culture, their own custom, and of course their own food too. So how are you going to work with all those ethnic minorities?
Well, I love the minority communities. As I've told you before, my family.
And we're going to come to it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Came to Southeast Michigan, worked in Dearborn.
From Syria?
From Syria. My family's owned fruit markets across this community for 40 or 50 years.
Yes.
And have been an integral part of the community.
So you are deep, your root is deep in the community.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, and I understand the discrimination that people can face and the troubles that they face. I've been an attorney for 25 years. I've seen how the judicial system treats people unfairly when they either can't understand the language or have different cultures. And we need to be able to unite people across the state and bring these cultures together. Where at the same time still appreciate everyone's individual culture and preserve it. And people should be able to honor their own culture and not face discrimination for doing that.
And I know you are same thing, that you have your root with the Middle Eastern community. You understand other culture, the Indian, the Latino, the African American. And this is what we need in Michigan. Somebody understand those ethnic minorities, because we look at Michigan as multi-part of those ethnic minorities.
No, absolutely. It is a melting pot, and it should be honored and celebrated across the state. And no one should feel like they don't have equal access to the justice system or the Constitution or the rule of law. And I will return that back to the people.
Great. We're talking to the Middle Eastern community, and there is about 7 to 9 million Middle Eastern community. And there is other, like, you know, the Greek, the Italian. They're very close to each other. When we do interview, they all watch us because we discuss issues that are related to ethnic minorities. As your root in the Middle Eastern community, did you approach the Middle Eastern community to help you in your campaign and you know, get involved with you?
Yeah, we're doing that right now. We have an outreach program right now to do that. We've got a lot of people in Southeast Michigan working right now in the campaign to help us out.
Great. So you are deep involved with them, because that's important to the Middle Eastern community, honestly. When we bring somebody that from north of Michigan, you know, and doesn't understand any ethnic minority, and especially the Middle Eastern community, we shy away from them. We need somebody who understands our culture, who understands how the way we live, the way we talk, because that's important. When it comes an issue to the Attorney General, you have to understand those people, those culture, how they function, and that makes a huge difference, honestly.
No, and like I said, we have to preserve that. We have to honor people's culture and celebrate them. And I have a sort of deep-rooted perspective on that because of my family's heritage. So I appreciate it, understand it, and want to preserve it.
Right. Give me a minute or so, your message to the Middle Eastern. Why they should get involved in your campaign? Why they should come and vote for you in the primary and hopefully for the general election?
Well, I think with every community, and I've been all across the state, across the UP, across northern Michigan, west Michigan, you know, mid-Michigan. I've been to all parts of this state over the last year and a half, talking to many different people. And what I can tell you is Michigan is a very diverse community.
Absolutely.
What everyone hungers for, no matter what community they come for, everyone hungers for their elected representatives to, one, understand them and understand their culture, and number two, understand that they all want to preserve the Constitution and the rule of law, and they want to be treated equally within the court system, and they want to be treated equally by their elected officials who are the top-ranking officials in the state, and that's the governor, Secretary of State, the Attorney General. They want to be treated fairly, and they want to know that their voice is heard. And I'm the only candidate in the race who can bring that to these communities. Because I'm, number one, the only one that understands the communities, and number two, I have the background for 25 years practicing constitutional law and understanding how the Constitution affects people in their daily life. And we've seen that, honestly,
Yes.
over the last year and a half, when we see these mandates imposed, and we see how it affects people, people are starting to wake up and understand how the Constitution actually affects their lives on a daily basis.
Yes.
When you have a governor impose a mandate that's unconstitutional, that affects your business, closes your business, affects your community, people start to realize how important the power is within these offices. But more importantly, as that trickles down to local communities, and you then have unelected bureaucrats at either your school board level or your health department level, also imposing mandates on people.
And it's happening.
Local
Not just in
mayors,
Michigan, nationwide too.
local mayors imposing mandates on people. People are waking up and starting to see and realize how important it is to get involved in their local community. And I've said this many times to people. We are in many ways, we've been gaslit by some of our politicians who tell us that we need to focus on the presidential election all the time. We need to stay glued
Local
to...
is more important than the national, believe me.
We need to stay glued to the TV when there's Supreme Court nomination hearings going on. And I've said to people, no, we need to focus locally.
Exactly.
While we focus on these national issues all the time, remember, we're a constitutional republic. Everything that we honor in that system runs locally, from our local delegates to local school boards to county commissioners to mayors. And that's one of the sort of the godsends of the last year and a half. Although there have been many mandates that have restricted people, it's been oppressive, it's hurt many people and destroyed their businesses. The godsend is it's helped people to realize how important it is to get involved in local politics, to get involved in school board elections, county commissioner races, mayor races, and state representative races. All of these things actually affect our community and affect people more than anything on the national level. And we got to return to that. We got to return this state back to the constitutional republic that it was intended to be, based on the writings of the founding fathers at the constitutional conventions in Philadelphia, for instance, in the 1700s, and based on the Federalist Papers that our founding fathers wrote that lay this out, the system of government that we have that puts power in the local people.
Locals affect me, my children, my business, more than, yes, the national level, it affects the general, people, the live in the United States. But the locals affecting us, me, my children, my business, the way we live in here, the way, you said the Board of Education, that affect me directly because my children are in school, and if they teach them something that not supposed to, I should raise my voice, and it's happened in Parliament and else,
Absolutely. If they teach,
and this is the right.
If you see what happens with these local school boards, as we focus on national issues, and don't get me wrong, national issues are important, and we see in many ways right now, even today, the federal government trying to pull back too much power, take over local issues, take over state issues.
That's wrong.
That's wrong.
Yes.
We will, as I say, return the state to a constitutional republic.
Yes.
We will focus on state rights issues, the power of the state, but all of that initially rises up from local issues, and we have to preserve that and protect it. So when you have your local school board, for instance, teaching something like critical race theory, that affects people in the community directly, and they're starting to see that. That's why we see parents going out now to school board meetings, voicing their opinion, because they're starting to realize how important those races are. And they're starting.
They're waking up.
They're waking up.
Seeing things changing and changing fast. So we have to stop that.
Well, you see, I think people have seen in the last year that we are sort of moving more towards a socialist country at 100 miles per hour.
To Marxist and communist.
Yeah, Marxist, Maoist, communist. And I say this, we're not going to go 100 miles per hour off the socialist cliff. I don't want to go 50 miles per hour. I want to turn this around, go in the opposite direction, and that's what we're going to do. When I'm elected, we're going to take back our state. We're going to return ourselves back to a constitutional republic that's focused on our God-given rights, protected by the Constitution, and we're going to end this oppressive type of regime of government that wants to continuously impose its will on people.
Great. Well, thank you. I wish you the best in your campaign, and I wish you be the Attorney General, because I seen you understand and defend the right of the people of Michigan.
Thank you for having me on, and I want to direct everyone to my campaign website,
yes.
Deperno4mi.com, DEPERNO 4 with the number 4 or FOR, either way works. mi.com, Deperno4mi.com is our...
and we're going to slide it in.
Yeah, and we need help from people all across the state.
Is there a phone number they could reach you?
There is. It would be posted on that website.
And it will be posted. Yep. Great.
And we need people to sign up, volunteer.
Yes.
We need people, boots on the ground across this great state, and we need people to donate. Statewide elections are not cheap. They run on funding. Yes. My campaign has been based entirely on grassroots efforts and grassroots contributions. What I say to people, whatever you think your constitutional rights are worth, if that's a cup of coffee a week, please make a donation of a cup of coffee a week, really. 5, 10, 20, whatever you can afford is what we need from a lot of people across the state.
A lot of money to run the campaign.
Yep.
Thank you again.
Thanks
for coming.
Appreciate it,
Sure.
and thanks for having me on.
Sure. Dear reviewer, that was my interview with Matt Deperno. As you see, first, he is immigrant. His father from Italy,
Yes.
and mother from Syria. And that means that he understands the culture. He understands what ethnic minority need. And when you go to vote, first vote. Whatever you want, vote. But it's very important to vote for people who understand your culture, who understand your custom, you understand the way you live, he understands your business. And a person like Matt, he understands that. And it's very important to vote for a person who understands that. So please, again, go and vote, and not just you vote at the election, but we need more than vote. We need contribution. Any campaign would not run good and would not relay his message to all the ethnic minority, all citizens of Michigan, if he doesn't have the money, and that costs. So please, again, contribute to him. We're gonna put the website, and you could go to the website and donate, and believe me, every dollar count. Every dollar count. If each one pay $5, by 1,000 that's 5,000, by 10,000 that's 50,000, and that's how it grows. And we need somebody like Matt to represent us. Thanks for watching, and good night.